Or
Recording in progress.
and do we have some public here? Yeah. Just us?
And Lisa's iPad.
Lisa's
Lisa's
iPad.
iPad.
Oh,
You're saying Lisa's
okay.
name.
Well, here it comes, okay. All right, you wanna call the roll call attendance?
Lee, absent. Catherine,
Present.
Jerry, absent. Scott,
Here?
Margaret, and Bonnie.
Here. All right, we definitely have a quorum.
Motion to appoint Igor as a sitting member of the board for the next meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, and, are you interested in participating in our planning board meetings?
As the Woodstock representative, the Conservation Commission representative, sure, yes.
Sure.
Sure.
So do we want to vote to welcome her as a representative of the, representative of the
Yes.
Conservation Commission on our board? Are you interested in being just tonight or
No, I will try to make
you're trying
the
to make?
meetings.
Good, absolutely terrific. All right, we have a motion, a second?
Second.
Okay, second. You want to do the roll call on that?
Okay, so Catherine,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Margaret. Yes. Bonnie,
Yes,
Igor.
Yes.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right, we will open up the public hearing, Gordon Pond Brook LLC. It's a lot line adjustment for lot 105 through 115 and 105-15, 0001.16 Steele Drive and 180 Lost River Road. Is there a representative? Steve, do you want to tell us all about it?
Got some maps here that I need to see that.
And all the fees have been paid. And all the notices sent out, were received.
Thank you very much. Easier to read in this little.
Right. Okay, so, do you need another one? I can give you another one if you need.
It's okay, we can share.
Okay. So good evening, my name is Steve
And
Tower.
anybody in the audience can come and look on, if you want to see what's going on.
You have this if you want. Sure.
Is it a little one?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Steve Tower. I'm a land surveyor here in Woodstock at Saborn and Tower Surveying. I think I know most of you. I'm here tonight on behalf of Gordon Pond Brook LLC. They own the property basically just across the street where the storage units are. And what we're proposing here is a lot line adjustment where what they'd like to do is take the front lot, which is the rectangular parcel here, with the storage units on it. And yeah, right here. So everybody knows what's going on here. And just add on some land behind it. So all the area with the cross hatching, that'll go from the piece behind it to the storage unit lot, to make the storage unit lot bigger. Okay. And so I gotta look at the maps. I don't know where this stuff up here. So the area that they want to transfer is roughly 4.5 acres. So the front lot with the storage units would go from 1.5 acres to 6.07 acres. And the lot out back, which is in the process of being built up, it's going to be a cabin colony. I don't know if you folks are aware of that or not, but that's what's going on up there. That's going to go from 12.12 acres to 7.57. And Yeah, the properties are served by town water and sewer. So there's no septic systems or wells involved. And any questions?
The water and sewer is gonna go up this road.
Yep,
To
yep.
the back.
Yep.
Project is not going to require an easement across.
No, they're gonna put in a new sewer main and water main. It's gonna go right up the existing driveway to the cabins. And that, I think that's gonna happen this spring. They haven't gone out because they have to cut into Route 3 here, so they're waiting to get their, I think they've already got their permits. They just haven't done it yet, waiting for spring. Yeah.
And access to this existing house and all of this, is that gonna be across this?
Yeah.
Driveway?
So the existing driveway to the house is still there, and it'll stay there. So the house at some point may disappear. I don't know what their plans are, but I know storage business is hot, and they're talking about building more storage units, so, yeah. Any other questions?
Well, the only thing I can think of is this driveway sufficient, to serve the needs of this parcel and,
Well, it's basically gonna be,
back.
they're building basically a wider road right now.
It's 50 feet
It's
wide.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
it's gonna be built to town specs.
yeah, oh, yeah, it's not steep, yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be 50 feet and
Yep.
drainage and.
Yep, he's already had engineering done. The front part of it's already been landscaped, there's drainage in place. It's all been
It's
engineered.
gonna be paved,
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah, it's gonna be paved.
and it's gonna be a private road or?
Yeah, it's gonna be
town road or-
basically, no, it's just gonna be a driveway, basically. So this cabin colony that is gonna be built are gonna be rentals. So it's just gonna basically be a, what do you wanna call it, a driveway to service these cabins.
This one business per se.
Yeah.
Hey, does anybody on the board have any questions to ask?
Nope.
I don't.
I motion we accept the. plan
Let's
as
see if
presented.
there's anybody in the public first before, anybody in the public have any questions or,
Well, it's Kevin Foley.
okay?
You can
Kevin?
hear me okay? Hey,
Yes.
I was just wondering, I didn't see an agenda posted. And can you vote on something like this if it hasn't been posted?
It's, it was a notice, it was a notice, on the website, in the paper, and it's on the agenda.
Okay, I didn't see it on the website. All right,
Is it on?
Just on my way over, this is the one that Gordon Pond Road?
Yes,
Yeah, so,
I looked at it this morning too, because I hadn't seen the agenda yet, and I wanted to see what was on it. So,
It's certainly on the agenda, it certainly was, all the, abutters were noticed, because all of the, notices came back. And I am pretty sure, can you look, can somebody look on our website to make sure it was?
that was what I was saying, I did half an hour ago.
I looked at it this afternoon, but
It's on there, okay.
I wanted to look at the agenda too.
It was on the website, it was in the paper, and it's on our agenda.
okay, I didn't see an agenda, so I had to use the link from January, but okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Okay, you wanna, call the, roll call?
Public hearing is noticed in the news and announcements section.
Is it in there?
Yeah,
The agenda, I didn't,
I don't see the agenda, but.
the
the public
agenda's
hearing
not
is
there, but
noticed.
that is in there. The agenda's not on,
The agenda is
but
on the.
this is on there.
All right. Okay. You want to call the roll call?
Catherine,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Igor,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes.
Who's the second? I second.
Okay, we have an affirmative vote. I'm just reading these rules of procedure that we are gonna talk about later, and to see if there's anything in here where an agenda has to be posted.
As long as the hearing itself is properly.
Yeah, the hearing certainly is posted. But something for us to look at as, later on in the meeting when we talk about our rules.
Before I forget, I did want to say one thing. Because I was poking around this afternoon, we still have a meeting time at 6 o'clock. It's on the website instead of 5. Meets every second Tuesday at 6. Because I was lost and I was looking on the website.
All right, does anybody feel that
No, I don't feel it has anything to do with anything. I just mentioned it while I forget. remembered it.
That's the website.
Yeah. No, I don't think that had anything to do with anything.
and check that, check the
No, I don't
hours.
want-
Just recently, changed it from 6 to 5.
Because I'll forget
Let's check
to mention it.
and let's double check and make sure that,
2024 meeting schedule says 5 p.m.
okay, so
But
at least.
I think it's, anyway,
I
I'll
That
find
is
it.
one
I'll find it.
That is one notice of the meeting, so it's.
It's no big deal. I just thought I mentioned it. while we were
All
at
right. So congratulations. You have a bunch of plans to
Yes.
sign.
Yep, and I got a Mylar for you, Bonnie.
Okay.
You want 6 in each one?
Yes,
That's what I thought.
I know it seems like a lot, but
I
the
remember the
assessor
last
gets
time.
one, the town office gets
Yeah.
one, we get one.
Yeah.
Registry of deeds,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
forth.
Yeah.
Today is the. We always used to fold them, we always used to, for new members, you'll fold them, we always used to have a map folding session for the new members. I think you taught it.
Probably. One of the first things they taught us in surveying school. Actually, not even kidding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how to fold a plan. Yeah.
Sometimes we'd have a member that loved the job so much they wanted to do it.
It wasn't me.
Well, there is an art to it because you want
Title
this to show on
Show off
top,
top.
not be folded inside somewhere.
Bonnie, you're gonna mail the Mylar to the registry, right?
We do that, yeah. We do that on purpose because one time, we didn't used to want them to get recorded.
Yeah.
So we made, that's one of our rules that we have to do. And that's why we collect the money for the recording. How many did you give us?
6 copies and 1 Mylar.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We will go on to the second public hearing. The Rutherford public hearing, a minor subdivision on Paradise Road. Any representatives?
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. And we've got all the fees, all the notices came back.
Yep. Okay, so.
All right, what's going on here?
Well, good evening again. I'm here on behalf of the Rutherford Family Trust. They own a property at the intersection of Paradise Road and Oak Street here in North Woodstock Village. And the reason we're here is because they'd like to subdivide the property basically in half to create a vacant building lot. The property itself, the original total acreage of the property is just over half an acre. So they're looking at creating two lots, lots 1 and 2. Lot 1, which would be more northerly at the intersection of Paradise and Oak Street, would be 0.29 acres. And the vacant lot to the south would be 0.23 acres. The lots will, or are, and or will be served and are served currently by water and sewer. And you can see here's their existing home on lot 1. Here, here's your vacant lot. Here's the house, here's the vacant lot. There is currently a shed there now. The shed is probably going to be relocated to the other lot in the future. But you can see everything, well, the shed meets setbacks. The existing house, which is an old house, does not meet setbacks, but it's been there since prior to your setback ordinance.
Does it meet setback from this
The new one.
new line that you created?
Yeah, you can.
This vacant, the vacant lot, there's your setback line.
Okay,
But yes, it does.
it does.
Yes, yeah, it's just the frontage. It's
Right.
too close, but it is what it is, that's where it is. So yeah, it does meet the setbacks from the new line. Okay. Anybody have any questions?
And they're each gonna be served with sewer and water
Mhm.
straight in.
Yeah, so there's already sewer and water to this house. I have met with Mike Welch up here on site, and the sewer would come off of this sewer manhole down here at the
Okay.
corner of Oak Street and come in.
Come in.
Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, and the water, there's a water main down Oak Street right now. It's got the water.
And Mike doesn't have a problem with the driveway?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
I don't know what.
No, Mike was,
Well, there's only
Good.
2 houses on, well, no, there's one. There's-
On that side, there's
on
only
that
2.
side, There's only 2 on this side. On this side, there's.
That'll
there's
only
a
make 2 on this
house
side.
every lot.
there's a house here, nothing here. and a house and a house.
So there's only gonna be 3
On that side,
eventually on that road, on that.
On Oak Street,
You know,
yeah.
because we've always been concerned about how many houses on
Okay. Well, I can tell you, we were there doing the survey. We were there for about 5 hours and only one vehicle went down that street.
Yeah.
And it
No,
was an
it's
oil
not a-
truck.
I walk my grandson up there.
No, it's not heavily, but we always,
Yeah.
you know.
The dangerous thing are the poodles down in the corner. And they're not really gators. They're pretty tough.
We'd always say 3,
Sure, yeah.
so-called, it's called a street, but it's not a major street.
No.
All right, any questions from board members?
No,
Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the Zoom?
Motion to approve it as presented.
Okay,
I'll
we have
second
a
it.
second.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Catherine,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Igor,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Well, yeah, I would take good notes for him.
All right. Are you?
Yes.
Is that? The date, the one.
All right. Seems like more than 6. It's more than 6, you get to keep one.
That's important.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh my God, I was doing some work today and I would go straight through with one line. And the next. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. There you go. All right,
Well, thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, we will now call the planning board meeting to order. Those were hearings. Approval of the minutes of January 8th.
Vote to approve.
All right, second, any corrections, errors, or omissions?
I thought they were good.
Yes, they were, they
Yeah.
were great.
Mhm.
They were great. You want to do the roll call?
Catherine,
Yes.
Scott,
Abstain?
Margaret, yes, Igor,
Yes.
Bonnie.
Yes. Okay, they're approved. Selectmen's report.
Haven't really just finished the warrant finally, and the budget, which went up 3%, that should not increase taxes, I don't think. And, that was it. So it's kind of all put to bed, town meeting.
Good.
So,
Good. And I think everybody signed up to run for the planning board. Jerry, Igor, and
Yes.
and Catherine that signed up. And there weren't any others, any other candidates. Selectmen did.
No.
Okay, good. Correspondence received. We received a shoreline permit application notification from Granite Engineering, 311 Sugar Plum Lane. And that's just a notification. Anybody have any questions on it? They have, I haven't been down there to see what's there.
That was on Channel, that was part of the Chronicle.
Yes, I know. It was, Woodstock was on Chronicle. Just recent history, 2 days ago. Woodstock was, the town of Woodstock and some of the things going on around town was featured on
Let's go back
Chronicle.
and look.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. But if this was, and it's just notification to us that they have filed a shoreline impact permit. All right, we're going to have another boundary line adjustment hearing next time. It's on Thornton Gore Road. We just received it. Do you remember what parcel? I think I got hearing notice for it. But anyway, we're gonna have another one.
And the map and lot numbers are indicated in the
Mhm.
agenda.
Yeah.
so we can look them up.
You can look it up. The hazard mitigation meetings, there's gonna be a series of those. It's something that Chief Millar kind of spearheads And the first one is going to be April 3rd at 10 o'clock. And then there's a whole series of them.
So we had tentatively scheduled it for March, but it'll be April, will be the first one.
There's about 4 of them. There'll be a notice if anybody's interested, and it's something that the planning board will help Kevin Millar develop.
And these are Zoom meetings, so you can participate from home in your pajamas if you want to.
Okay. The floodplain ordinance, go over the details, and the things that were added, the changes. And did you look at it carefully? That was something that you brought up at the Selectmen's meeting. We wanted to make sure that we met the February 8th deadline, and as far as we know, we did, but
Yep.
she was gonna double check.
So my only comment was we have a warrant to vote on the changes to the floodplain ordinance. In section 2, the second paragraph, we still reference the February 20th, 2008 maps. That's the version that's online, 2023, the adopted version. So that has to be changed to February 8th.
On the floor.
Oh, 2024,
On the floor.
on the floor, yeah.
Okay.
So
So,
just a heads up, I'm more than happy to make the motion.
oh, that'd be great.
Yep,
That would be great, because we want to make sure
yeah,
everything is, because we want to be able to expand, the insurance offerings and
mhm,
February 8th, then adoption at the meeting is a mandatory,
correct, yep.
mandatory steps in order to be in the program.
So I'll make the motion at the town meeting to amend the warrant for the date.
Great, oh my gosh, great,
Super.
great. And you didn't see anything else that?
Nope.
All right, thank you very much. The rules of procedure. We had a subcommittee that met and went over our current rules of procedures and had some suggested changes. And all the board members got a copy, or this copy's down there at the end of the desk. Catherine, do you want to go through?
Sure. Jerry and I have gone through this, and as Bonnie stated, it was sent out to the board, who also chimed in with additional edits and changes based on the fact that a lot of the items in here, well, not a lot, but enough of them didn't exactly match what we currently do here. So the first item, there's an item for discussion. There's planning boards. There's an alternate member. It's going to be appointed for 1 year. Should it be 1 year? Should it be 3 years? Board members should be on 3-year terms with alternates elected for continuity. That was another. So we just have to determine, do we want it to say 1 year, 3 years? Because my current term is for a year. So if somebody was put in as an alternate for me and had a 3-year term, they would be on the board for 3 years when my term is up in 1 year. So that wouldn't link up, right? So
Right.
should we vote for alternates on a yearly basis? So my suggestion and Jerry's suggestion was to change it to 1 year.
Until the next election.
But then-
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but then,
In
so who is
RSA 670,
MA?
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
RSA 673, section 6 specifies that alternates are supposed to be appointed for 3 years.
So that's probably why it stays like that.
Yeah,
So when I signed up to run again this year, it was for a 3-year term. So I don't know if we're getting rid of the 1-year term based on that requirement of that RSA or what the
Well,
status is,
yeah.
but
and
I
then-
would say we have to meet that if that's a requirement.
Right, and then the question would be in a case like what you described, where
Right.
an alternate was filling in for 1 year of a term, but was appointed for 3 years, would that person then become an alternate for the remainder of their term?
And it doesn't make any difference.
Right, because Lee's term is
Yeah,
2 years, mine was 1 year, and it depends on what you ran for,
Yeah,
so it just doesn't sync up. So I guess that's the question to the board, is
Well,
Bonnie, what do we want
It
to do with
only
that?
really matters if they're trying to move up from alternate to board member. I remember years ago, you were appointed an alternate and you were there as long as you wanted to be, you were an extra. And if you wanted to be an extra for 10 years, oh, well, okay, nobody else wanted. Nobody else came along and tried to bounce you
I
and you
guess-
were willing, so we always, we just never said they were being appointed an alternate for 1 or 3 or any other number. So I see both
I
sides.
guess if it says we have to do it for 3 years, then we have to keep it at 3 years.
Are we allowed to change it if the RSA says something different?
No.
I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think so, that's what I'm saying, that's the
That's what I'm
rule,
thinking.
so I
No,
think
no,
it stays
no.
at 3.
Yeah.
You have the e-copy that you're working as we make the
Yeah.
adjustments? So do we take a vote to leave it at 3
Yes.
years?
Let's vote on these topics as they come along. Yes, who wants to make a motion, to make it 3 years?
I'll make a motion.
Do we need to make a motion for each individual point, or should we adjust the points and then make a motion out of that?
At the end.
Okay.
All the
Okay.
changes.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
That would-
the
that
next
would only-
one is item C, which currently states any present alternate member may sit at the table and participate at meeting discussions. Alternate members may sit at the table and vote upon motion vote of, based after an invitation by the chair.
Right.
Currently, we don't do that, if we just come in here and sit here. So do we want to just change that to they may sit at the table and participate in meeting discussions, or do you want alternates to wait in the audience until we make a motion to bring them to the table, which is how it used to be written?
It used to be they sat in the audience and didn't sit at the table, until it's invited, but, in more recent history, we've always had, we haven't had a full board, we've always had, extra seats at the table, so they just come in and sit, but had to remember they couldn't vote. They can participate in discussion
Mhm.
to their heart's content, they can ask questions of the applicant, they can say things, yay and nay, but they can't vote, they don't count in the vote. So I don't care whether,
Okay, so do you want to just leave it as is, and if you're an alternate, you just sit there, and then Bonnie, you invite alternates up to the table, and then it could just stay the way it is? But we just need to make sure that our process matches
right,
what our plan says.
I think it probably looks a little clearer to the public if they're sitting in the audience
Mhm.
and then get the invite
Okay,
to come up,
okay, then it
because
can stay like it originally was.
there's only 7 voting members, and if we had 7 present and the 2 alternates had 9, people might get confused and
Right,
think it's a board of 9 when it's a board of 7. Yeah, let's have them sit in, do you think?
Sure.
Sit in the audience
Yeah.
until,
and one of the lines, also in that, it says that they, an alternate member may participate in meetings, discussions, and sit at the table even if not voting. We currently only have alternate members who are voting, sitting up here,
right.
probably because our limited seating. So do you want to
Well, I'm
leave, do you
sure.
want to remove even if not voting off of there and
Well,
just have voting?
I mean, if we're not gonna have the alternates sit at the table.
Right, you should just vote.
Until
yeah.
they've been appointed.
Yeah.
Right.
then That whole line could probably go.
Okay. So we're going to delete that last sentence in items, bullet C.
Okay,
And then there was a change to the bullets. Just the style of the bullets.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't think that needs to be voted on.
it was just weird to have the bullets looking like the letter D.
Yes, okay, in the absence of the secretary, the chairman, shall appoint a secretary pro term to keep records of the meetings. We don't have what happens if there isn't a chairman here, so if the vice chair is here, Jerry and I suggested that we put in, or vice chairman if chairman is not present.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And do we need to fell out. I mean, years ago, the secretary was a board member. We didn't have a paid secretary, should we say? I mean, does it look like the secretary's a board member?
I think what this is saying is if Kathy's not here for whatever reason.
Right.
That one of us would take minutes and
Right,
the chairman would designate who that one,
that person was,
yeah.
but it doesn't say what would happen if she and you weren't here.
Right.
So this would clear that up.
Okay.
There's just a missing word in item 1. Shall be elected annually the month of April, so we just added during.
And shouldn't that
Do
be?
you have a
two?
comment there? Yeah, that should
Should
actually
be
be
a
a
2. That should be a 2. The second one.
Yes, that should be a number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if requested by a majority of those present, voting shall be by written ballot. And then this year we did it by oral ballot.
Right, we do it by
So-
oral.
But the way it's written is if requested by a majority, so that we leave that open as an option. So I think it's okay to leave
Leave
this
it.
as it's written,
Okay.
because it's only if people say we want it to be in writing, which
I
didn't
understand.
happen.
Yeah, that makes
At one
sense.
It
meeting.
has
Yeah.
happened when you have 2 candidates or you have a, you know.
It has happened.
It
Yeah.
has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you want to do it by written ballot, it has happened. You want that option if you
Yeah.
want to do it that way.
On the next page, it looks like you have comments there, Margaret. There was the 6 PM, we need to change that to 5 PM. Like we
Oh.
just discussed on the top one, just that's where,
Yeah.
under the meetings.
My other comment here is that, according to RSA 91-A, section 3, anyone participating electronically in a meeting is supposed to identify everyone else present with them in the room who can hear the meeting, so that can record all of their names in the meeting minutes. So like where we had Kevin and we had Lisa's
Mhm.
iPad,
Mhm.
if anybody else was there with them that could hear us, we should also have written down who they were.
Okay.
So do you want to just add a
So-
bullet there?
So just a bullet that we ask
Mm-hmm,
who else is present with you
I agree.
Makes sense.
when people are joining by Zoom.
That is not a customary practice.
It's specified in the RSA though.
Many places.
Yeah,
If it will only take a second, it's not like there's usually a plethora of
So you-
folks that join on Zoom.
and it's
So
a
you
way of
wanna
covering
ask
us.
the
so-
people on
It just
Zoom.
covers.
Yeah,
Is there anyone else in the room with you that we can identify to add to our list of attendees?
I've been in meetings where they've asked that.
Mhm.
actually.
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a good feature, you know, and the other thing, do they have to identify themselves? Can they listen in on Zoom and not identify themselves? You know, sometimes we have,
I mean, it does.
nobody
happen.
responds, you know, you'll have a phone number there
You may
or
not have a
whatever,
choice.
Yeah,
and they don't say who they are.
We can do a roll call.
right.
And
No,
read
what
off the
she's,
phone number.
what she's saying is if someone goes on, is
Comes
allowed
on.
into the room on Zoom
Yeah,
and they don't identify themselves,
Oh, well,
what do you do?
you know,
So we have a couple of choices. If somebody refuses to identify themselves, we could
Delete them.
right.
remove them from the meeting.
and we don't wanna bully anybody that wants to.
Yeah, we can just say phone
Listen
number
in.
XYZ.
Right.
Would you please identify yourself? Because the phone number shows up there.
And we can identify the phone number in the meeting minutes and
Mhm.
note in the minutes that they refused to identify who they were.
I would think they would have that right if they wanted to. I don't think we should delete them, just because they won't speak up and say who they are. What do you think?
Yeah, it may be that it's not possible for them to speak from whatever location.
I don't know, okay. Just
So there was the adjustment, the next one was the adjustment of the time to 5 o'clock instead of 6.
Yeah, and my suggestion to that was to put in the rules of procedure a time is specified in the
Posted schedule.
posted schedule.
Because it's maybe a time you need to change it.
Yeah.
Right, that way we can change the
Makes
posted
sense.
schedule without.
That
having to
totally
rewrite the
makes
rules of
sense, that
procedure.
makes
Makes
sense. I agree with that. Are you good with
Yeah,
that?
absolutely.
So, and I'm not even sure if this has happened yet, but, when someone's disqualified and announced to the chair or the member before the discussion that they're disqualified, the disqualified member has to leave the table. So does that say, like, I abstained, like, I wasn't
Yes.
here, or I'm not doing that? So if that's the case, right now it says that if I was abstaining from a discussion,
You
I would
should
have
sit
to
there.
leave here and go sit there.
Absolutely.
We've always asked them to go sit in the audience.
I think you should. yeah.
Okay.
If it's,
If it affects me personally or you
Yeah.
personally, you should sit there.
if it's their project
Okay,
that you're hearing or whatever, they
Okay.
should go sit.
just
in
because we
the audience.
haven't, that's happened here before, someone's
Yeah.
abstained and we haven't moved ourselves from the table, and until I read this, I didn't even know I was
And-
supposed to.
They can participate in everything else.
Yeah.
They only have to
For that one item.
go sit in
Correct.
the audience for that one item.
Okay. Okay. The order of business didn't sync up with what we currently do. So we either need to make the current way our meeting order is flowed down, match in here, or we have to change our, this to match this. Somehow these two things have to sync.
We have always wanted to recognize the public, not have them last, like, you know, they do other places, public participation. We have wanted to recognize somebody if, you know, if they want to talk sooner in the meeting rather than later.
I think if someone has a
But-
scheduled thing, then they need to. Or if we know we're gonna have a long thing like this and someone wants to say something, we should let them go first.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? So,
And the hearings, we always try to do early on. We always try to have, if, but once in a while, there'll be somebody coming up from Massachusetts or something
Mhm.
and wants to be at the end of the meeting, to give them more time to get here.
Yeah, I think that that's fine. I just think that we need to put in
Put it in the right order.
the note that's down
Yeah.
below. That public participation may be moved early in the agenda.
Right. And whatever order we adopt here should be in the order we put on the agenda
We
from
haven't,
henceforth.
we haven't typically listed unfinished business
Right,
as such in the agenda.
exactly.
Erase it. Oh,
You might wanna just,
All right, we get call to
And then there
order,
isn't new business.
yeah, roll call, public hearings, minutes,
Those are fine.
communications,
And there should be new business if it's not on the agenda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's here, actually, you know.
and
other
then,
business.
We do have a non-public session though now. That's
Right.
not on this list.
yeah. And we have, right now, we have reports of officers and committees after reading communications, and we typically do it before.
Yeah.
So we should flip the order. of
We should
those.
flip
Yes.
the order of that. Right, any other changes to that? Anybody wants to
And
make?
the adjournment at the end.
Yeah.
It's not on this one. Like, what we currently do, I wrote that list in the comment section on the right-hand side.
Should you adjourn the public session and then open a non-public
I
and then
think
adjourn the
so.
public?
Yes.
Non-public. I mean, technically probably.
And we're not gonna do non-public hardly ever.
No,
Right.
that was only one, I think
Hardly
it-
ever.
it came up one time. I remember Lee bringing it
never-
up. I think
yeah.
it was when we had to talk to the attorney or something.
That'd be
something.
the only,
Yeah.
you know, really the only
Yeah.
time, we just never.
Even then, I think it's touchy, unless it's personnel, I think it's
Yeah.
tough to
Yeah, I mean, we can leave that
have
off.
non-public these days.
Let's leave off. Want to just leave off the?
Non-public altogether.
Yeah,
And then just remove it off of our weekly,
Just
our
remove
monthly
it,
agenda here.
because we're not like the school board or selectmen or something, you know, the type of stuff we do.
But almost nothing can be non-public now, practically.
Yeah. It's only like reprimanding employees or,
The next comment, Margaret, is, 2 comments are yours. Bullet 3,
Oh, yeah, bullet 3 was just to remind us that we need to calendar dates about when bonds and letters of credit are due.
Yeah.
So we can
Yeah.
keep track of them.
so that was all said.
And then
yeah,
And there was the next one that's
Oh,
just
and the
being
other one is-
consistent
yeah.
with language.
to either say chairman or chairperson, but not mix it up. Probably chairman.
yeah, chairman, we've always traditionally said chairman, selectmen, I mean.
Chairperson.
Yeah.
And I try to be.
The selectmen, and, you know, some like mayor or whatever, you know.
It says
but-
chairman most of the places, so
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
we just need to do it,
Chairman.
find and replace if we want it to be
Yeah.
chairperson.
Is there anybody that feels strongly that it should be chairperson instead
No.
of chairman?
No,
Okay, let's leave it as chairman then.
What a typing.
In the public hearing sections, Jerry and I had a suggested bullet of all communication shall be directed to the chair. Because there's
Good.
been a couple
Yeah.
of times where people started communicating with each other.
Yeah.
So we thought that we should add that to our rules.
Yeah.
We thought it could go after bullet 9, just it seemed to make sense
Sure.
there. The rest of the items that were deleted were just voting, historic voting
Yeah.
info with no signature line, so I just deleted that. So the rest of it was just formatting. So that was all of the comments that we had
good,
as we
Looks
went
good.
through this.
great work,
Great work. Really.
great work. So are we ready with those, amendments to vote on these?
Yes,
I would like to make a motion that we approve it with the amendments as recommended by Catherine and Jerry and as discussed this evening.
Second.
Okay. You want to do the roll call?
Catherine,
yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Margaret,
Yes.
Igor,
Yes.
Colleen.
Yes. Great. That's an accomplishment. The computer. We have some interesting, developments to report. Remember, we talked about, the computer, expired about 5 days after the, warranty, ended. Well, the town, front office, is going to have an extra computer. So Judy said it would be possible for her to erase, you know, that one, take all her stuff off that one. And asked Margaret whether that was something we could use instead of buying the new one. And so, Margaret thought it had all the, programs and, you know, that it would be sufficient for us for now
Sure.
to use that one
that's great.
and not spend the money.
Yeah, that's great.
Judy and the budget committee decided to keep the money in the budget, just in case. That one didn't work out fine, but we all agreed to accept the, yes, the computer, and you're sure it can meet our needs, it has all the programs and stuff we need. Okay, so that's good news.
That's great news.
Saves the town some money.
The town has a fixed set of programs that is subscribed to, and Judy has said that we can use the ones that are already on there. So that makes it easy. Then we just need to get it set up with the backup program, which I can help Kathy do.
That is, absolutely wonderful. Now, the next item is the FEMA packet. Do you mean, this packet that we submitted? You wanted everybody to have a complete packet?
Yeah.
So, in your packet is the submission on January 8th. It was sent in. And as far as we know, we're gonna be all set, right?
Excellent.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
That's
great.
good. That's another one down. That's another project we got done. The master plan subcommittee meeting, we had a little meeting before, at 4 o'clock, before the board meeting. And we discussed a lot of things. In fact, we ran through the other minutes of the other 4 meetings we've had. We took the boilerplate that Christina Payne kind of outlined for us as topics. Margaret took notes and tried to fit the comments raised at the other 4 meetings into one of the categories. And Margaret has agreed to put together something for us to look at next time
Great.
as a start.
That's awesome.
So we will see, what came out of those 4 meetings, plus what we talked about tonight. We've kind of come to the conclusion, we have to have some chapters. We have to have some housing language in there, and land use language, and recreation, and downtown. We have to, in the master plan, if we're going to be able to guide the town and or apply for grants that can help us guide the town, we're going to need to identify our needs and goals and desires in this document. This guides us. It has to be in here in order to get money for any of the ideas we might come up with. And I talked to North Country Council, and the only ideas they had to throw out to us is, use volunteers to try to help you. Community input is very important. Ask people, have community forums, maybe have some volunteers to help you. Maybe UNH used to have monies and students they could offer you to help you develop a master plan. There's Plan New Hampshire, there's Reinvest New Hampshire, there's, what was the other one? There's another one, there's a, right here. There's Plan New Hampshire, UNH, Reinvest. There's another outfit called First Impressions. And there's, of course, North Country Council that can help you and provide some input. So that's the plan. Margaret's going to put together, we've culled everything we've learned at those 4 meetings, and we're gonna stop there.
Sounds good.
Great.
And keep working on it right along so that we have a document, a new master plan, not 2 years out or anything, but, this year, as soon as we can. Public participation. Cheryl?
We were unable to attend the last meeting,
Uh-huh.
so we did watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I just wanted you to know, I know John Kimball has a lot of problems with anything we do. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us. And I wanted you to know that it's not just us who are applying for these permits. It's Civil Takeoffs, it's Horizon, it's Stony Ridge Environmental. These are the ones that we have hired to help us with
Right.
all of our permits. It's not just us, which he makes it sound like it's us and we're not doing the right thing.
Sure.
We are trying to do the best we can. He also had a problem with the estimation for the intent to excavate. We do the best we can with that as well, but if the state calls us and we get a job that we weren't planning on or something, we report it, we pay taxes on it, we pay the gravel tax, we pay the IRS for the tax, and we pay the town tax, so we have taxed on that one property 3 times. So we are doing everything we can for that. The other thing he had said was that the ledge side is the whole thing is permitted. Is permitted with you for 10 acres, that is
Right.
true. The alteration of terrain permit is for the whole parcel.
Mhm.
So that's where he was getting confused. We have paid all of our permits, the wetlands, I can't even begin to tell you how many thousands of dollars we have paid to make sure we are doing everything right. So if you guys ever have any questions, please come to us, let us know, shoot us an email, and we can answer your questions. All the permits, the wetlands, the alteration of terrain are through the state. We have all that information. And I just feel like he just hammers at you guys constantly. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and we can give you any information that you need.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
much.
That's super.
Thank you.
I'd like to add to that, if I may, that the Conservation Commission also reviews all permit applications and submitted permits. So we would bring up to the planning board if we saw anything irregular.
Thank you.
Yes, that's gonna be a good connect.
Do you
The
have
plan-
a report for us, Kristen?
Yes,
Are
we've
they,
gotta add her under,
are they a voting member
the,
or are they,
no, they're
no,
not
or it's just,
voting.
okay.
They're not, the Conservation Commission is not a voting
I know,
member.
just wondered.
No,
It's
They
a
were
good
there.
addition, though.
Oh, great
They're
addition.
a
no,
great
I-
addition.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. I will.
Could we make her an alternate?
Yes. No.
Would there be a little conflict then, or?
I
No.
don't know.
No?
Let's research.
No, I'm just saying,
I
you could be an alternate if
know
someone didn't show up and be.
we can invite a Conservation Commission representative. I don't think they're a voting member, but they're a resource, they're an input, they can participate in the discussions. But let us verify just exactly what,
Yeah.
you know, what.
And we can have as many
Responsibilities,
alternates as we
but
want,
what-
and people
Right.
don't
I
show
think
up.
it's
that's
very
usually
interesting because I know a lot of the questions and comments that we've had about the different properties, including these folks,
Especially.
has
with
been
this-
about wetlands and
Especially guys.
conservation, and
Oh,
having
we-
this resource is just excellent.
We love it. We
So-
used to have a very active one, Joan McGoldrick. I don't know if anybody knows her, but years
Date
ago.
yourself.
I'm dating myself. Years ago, was she very, very involved, and came to all of our meetings. And she
Great,
was
that's
a
really
big
great.
resource to us. We will research,
Yeah,
so
research,
that
let me
you're
know.
clear what, and we want you to have whatever, duties and, that you have, by,
I'm just saying,
joining
it's hard
us.
to get a quorum lots of times too, so.
Yeah.
If you're an alternate and you plan on going to most of the meetings, it might be helpful in that
Yes.
respect too.
she could be, I
So
think.
Bonnie, I have a question for you. So, not that I have one, but in the event that I did have a question for the Calders, would I contact you to contact them? Or,
Yes.
okay,
No problem.
We've tried to do things that way because, well, we won't go over past history. But we have at different times in the past had members that were very zealous and would go off and research a ton of stuff. You know what I mean?
no, but I mean, if we were going through
But
something
whatever
and
the
had a
board
question.
wants, it's fine with me, whatever.
That's
Do you
fine.
want
I
things
just
to
wanted
be
to make sure I
channeled
was
through me?
following.
I think
protocol.
Bonnie can make sure it gets researched.
Communicated, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
and-
great.
If she calls or has someone else call or
And,
whatever.
and
then
it
we're-
also goes further than that, let's just say, you know, I researched something or other. I'm only speaking, I can't speak for the board, I mean, I'm just one opinion, I'm one member of the board, I can't make a commitment. I can't make a commitment to an applicant that yes or no, you know, I can't, I can give advice, I can gather information, but I can't make a commitment to the
For
board.
sure.
I'm only one.
Understood.
Yes,
If the question was coming from one of the board members,
right,
you're gonna address it to yourself, wouldn't you then send an email to say Sherry Calder?
Yeah,
yes,
Cover yourself, wouldn't you CC the other board member to make sure that
Yes.
communication hasn't been lost in translation?
yes,
Yes,
good thing.
that's
That sounds good,
that
yeah.
sounds like a
Absolutely.
good process, yep,
absolutely.
perfect.
So let's get that process down. We just did our rules of procedure. Let's outline exactly. I mean, do you disagree?
No.
Do you think that
As a-
all of us as board members
As a
should?
matter of fact, maybe not only CC the member, maybe the
whole
whole
board,
board.
the whole board
should
should
be-
be on that, because then we
Oh,
come to the meeting and
Right.
everybody should be in the loop on those
Agreed.
issues.
That's
So-
even much better.
Give us all informed.
Yep.
Let's outline that and have it be in our rules of
So,
procedure.
If anyone of us has a question, we address it to you, but then your further communication should be CC.
Address
So
it
we all
to-
to the
know.
board.
To me, to ask the question.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you would send an
address it,
email to
yes.
whoever and
Alright.
CC the whole board, so that we all get the response.
Because communication is so important. Oh
It
my
really is.
Gosh, that's how things go haywire.
It certainly is.
Sherry?
The other thing is, we send out when we're blasting, a blasting notice, and when we were here before, you weren't here. So the only one that, Margaret had was an old one. So
Right.
when we are blasting, we send you the email. I don't have everybody's email address. Could you make sure that everyone in the board has
Yes.
that, just in case you are not
Yes.
here, and make sure
Yes.
that we're on top of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a general mailbox for the board in its entirety or just individual email?
We have on the website, we get some stuff,
It's just a general,
Yeah,
but
it's our own personal email.
just so that they are covered.
Sure.
we have,
I would always CC Judy as well,
Yeah.
and.
Yeah.
Anything I do, whether it's
Yeah.
to Bonnie or anybody else, I always put Judy in the link.
But
And
if
it's
you
Judy
CC
and-
Kathy on things, then.
The town administrator.
I get
Yeah.
planning.
She doesn't, but at least you've got some,
Okay,
you're covering your
yeah.
tracks. That's what I always
yeah, we
do.
can come up with something, because we don't want the onerous send
No.
seven.
Oh, I agree, but,
Yeah.
no, just,
So, I just, for the Conservation Commission, what we do is Jim Cheeseborough is the secretary and the chair. We communicate to the entire board, sometimes to our Gil Rand, who's our rep, and sometimes not, depending on whether it's something outside the town or not, but so everyone gets copied on everything, and Jason has been working with Judy, and we'll resume this after town meeting to set up a Conservation Commission email address with the town. So we'll have like Woodstock Conservation at Woodstock, or whatever it is. So I can let you know how that goes. The reason why is we get a lot of public input.
that's great.
So we just needed a way to manage that.
Mhm.
So I can let you know how that goes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are we able to include the email addresses of the board members in the minutes so that maybe they're readily available to the call group?
Let's see, how can we get out the,
Or at least just a few,
Yeah.
maybe the
or on the
secretary.
or on the website? What about, do we want,
I don't
Oh,
think
here's the-
everybody, I don't care personally, but I think maybe everybody doesn't want their
Yeah.
email on the website. Their personal email on the website.
Oh, I didn't realize, I thought maybe you all had. time.
No,
No. You could,
Send it to planning at Woodstock, New Hampshire.gov, and then I get those, and then I can forward it to the planning board as a group.
Can you forward it to the planning board and CC them so that they know that you've
Yes.
done that?
Okay, yeah, I think that's what they're looking for.
sure,
Yeah,
I think that's,
confirmation.
Yeah.
that's fair.
There is a planning board email, right?
Yeah,
yes,
So,
That would work.
I understand you want some documentation.
Right, you want the paper trail.
what if,
So the
it went
communication.
to the plan, yeah, go to the plan board email and Kathy send it to all of us or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that makes sense. Well, Kathy's
That
got
would
us all
work.
set up as a group, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
it
oh,
out
there
there.
you go, yeah. Send it to the planning board email and Kathy will send it
distribute
to
it to
Yeah,
all of
all
us.
board.
And then you've only sent one and you sent it to the town official
yeah,
one. That's probably the solution.
Yep, yep.
And let's research the Conservation Commission role in our deliberations. Did you have anything else, guys? Okay,
motion to adjourn.
Well, for me, I just put to give you an update on what we're doing.
Oh, sure.
yes,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
yes.
Okay.
And we're gonna put you right on the agenda up above there
That's
somewhere.
fine. There's a couple things. One, provided I get reelected in a month.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
Have a
very
good night.
much. Night.
I am on the Floodplain Board of Adjustment, so I can speak to that too, and will help the planning board and the Conservation Commission the best I can get through all that stuff. The Conservation Commission has been up to their eyeballs for a year and a half with Miriam Woods.
Sure. I bet. Thank God it's
I
real.
bet.
The only good thing is that we went from like 3 people to 7. So now we have a full board, which is
Sure.
awesome. And people are very excited about it, but we've been developing a management plan and it's been slow go. So we're gonna have 2 workshops, I think on, I don't remember what days they are, but Jim, with Julie. So we'll have these open discussion workshops, just kind of power through some of the management plan issues.
Good.
And I don't know how, but it might fit into the master plan because it's town-owned lands. Like we can discuss that later.
Great.
Awesome.
Because
And that will
we're
be,
trying to
we
get-
said in our little subcommittee,
Yeah.
we listed these other resources we have. We even mentioned the rock climbing place and you know, Merrill Lake and
Right.
whatever the name of it is.
Recreational area.
The official name of it, but we have Merriam Park, we have
Yeah.
something called
Staple Rock.
Staple Rock, we've got Merrill Lake, we got, you know.
Yes, there's
Boston,
several
we got-
town-owned plans.
Town of Bristol's taken some areas like that and done a nice job. Setting up, there's, you know, just walks and things like that. Nothing fancy, just. you know.
Well, I'm gonna look some more. The only thing I see here is ex officio members. Now, if that's what you
Let's-
are, any
let's do
member
some.
who holds office by virtue of an official position and shall exercise all the powers of regular members.
Well,
So we gotta research
yeah,
that to
research and
see
look at the
that.
RSA's because someone will put the question in.
We gotta research that to see
that's
what your
absolutely-
powers are.
All right,
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna go meet someone.
Now, a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. All in favor? Well, that was good, yeah.
That was good. This was great.